Welcome back to another fun episode of Real Talk with Realtors. And today we are talking about real books.
Real books. I like how you put the word fun in it too. That's cool. Fun. Yes, we are. So these are the top 5 books that will change your life. Yes. All right. So Kelsey, why don't you go with your book choice number 1?
Okay. My book choice number 1 is my current read. It's the second time I'm reading this book. It's called Psychology of Money, and it's by Morgan Housel. This book's it's a really entertaining read. Like it's not boring at all. I wouldn't be recommending a book that's not boring, or that is boring, but it is mind blowing. This book, the statistics he has about some of these billionaires rather in the world are crazy. I don't even know how to describe this book, but it is a lot about how basically people with different upbringings around money, it changes your view of money. It changes how you invest, if you're conservative or not with your money, and just kind of widens your perspective or broadens your perspective on how other people view money, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. It's kind of hard to describe, but you will not be disappointed reading this book. And I think that it really changes the way that you view investing.
Right. No, really good book. We're reading that right now in our little
book club mastermind
book club with our team. Okay. So I have not read this book in a long time, but it was the first thing that came to mind when I was thinking about books that could change your life or get you to understand. And it's also about finances, and it's Rich Dad, Poor Dad. So a lot of us have heard of this book. Robert Kiyosaki wrote it. There's also a board game.
Oh yeah.
That another agent and I used to play all the time. She's still to this day is like, come over. It's Alice.
Oh my actually. Gosh, yeah.
Alice. She's like, come over and play Rich Dad, Poor Dad with me.
How fun.
But it's basically about the two tales of two different dads. So Robert Kiyosaki's dad was actually, he referenced him as the poor dad, and his best friend's dad was the rich dad. And it was just the differences of how they viewed money, how they invested their money. And again, I haven't read it in a long time, but it's a super easy read. It's quick. So highly recommend Rich Dad, Poor Dad if you haven't read it already. I mean, a lot of people have, and actually it's now just talking about it's making me want to read it again. So
yeah, that's on my list. I haven't read that one yet, but I do know what it's about. And a lot of investors credit that book with getting them started.
Yes.
So, and kind of like putting the fire under them to go ahead and start investing. So that's a good one.
Good one. All right, what's your pick number 2?
Okay, pick number 2 is The Monk Who Sold His Ferrari, it's by Robin Sharma. It's a fiction book. It's kind of like a tale, but it's just about not living your life. Like basically the guy's a lawyer and he ends up having a heart attack because he's overworking himself. And then he goes and lives life with these monks for a while. And it's the lessons he learns from living with monks. And it's about not holding on so tight to your possessions and maybe not overworking yourself. And what is your passion in life? What do you value in life? And focusing more on those things. So I think especially when you're in a job like real estate or any other self-employed job where you have your own business, is really easy to get caught up. And this book is just a nice reminder to have peace and purpose and passion.
Yeah, a lot of us are in this business or other businesses are drivers. So yeah, that is a good book. The thing I remember about that book is how descriptive it was. Like when he's walking through the jungle or forest or whatever, it was very descriptive. Very good book. I really like that one.
It's a fable. That's the word I'm looking for.
Fable.
It's a fable. It's a good fable though. I didn't know that going into it. I didn't know it was a fable. I'm like, what is happening? And then,
this guy's tripping.
Yes. And it says there, The Monk Who Sold His Ferrari, a fable about
they don't use the word fable that much anymore. One of the other books that came to mind for me was The Compound Effect by Darren Hardy. Also similar was, we were just talking about that other book that's very similar.
The Slight
Edge. It's about the little things. So I guess I just picked 2, but they're very similar. So it's about the little things that you do every single day that will make a difference. For example, like going to the gym. You don't go to the gym and, work out 5 times and okay, you're buff, right? Or you lost the weight or whatever. It takes going to the gym, even if it's just 20 or 30 minutes a few days a week, and doing that consistently over time, and then you will see a difference. And that happens in every aspect of our lives. It's just the daily of doing it and being consistent. And I've read it multiple times, and it's also a story. He tells the story of his life and his dad, and it's a good one. I really recommend it. So it's Compound Effect by Darren Hardy. And he also was the editor at one point of the magazine Success. So.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Cool. And there's that thing called compound interest, if you know what that is. It's kind of the same. Like that's his whole point, is like you leave something in an investment account and it compounds over time. And same thing in life. And then that's what Psychology of Money talks about a little bit too, is like that compound effect of your investments. And it's just little by little, day by day.
And that thought process is in actually a lot of different books. But so it is a common thread.
It's a key part of life. I think we just found the secret to life, maybe.
What?
The compound effect.
Doing a little bit of everything every single day. I mean, even a negative thing. If you eat French fries every day, you're going to get fat.
Yeah.
Even if you only eat like 10 French fries a day.
That's true. Well, you might not get fat, but it's either way.
Yeah.
It's going to build up in your system, all the grease. Okay. So now we're going to make a suggestion that's more geared towards realtors in particular. And my suggestion for a book is called Exactly What to Say by Phil M. Jones. He's really big in the Tom Ferry world right now. We were introduced to him through Tom Ferry, and that book you got to practice it. It's very much psychology behind how to speak to people differently. And it is hard because you're kind of changing the way you speak, which takes practice. But he has a lot of really tactical things to try, logical things to say. Some of those things are like, duh, why wouldn't I say that? But for whatever reason, it hasn't been in your head. And then you're like, of course I'm going to say something like that. So some of them are easier than others.
Right.
Some of them don't sound like, he is British. So sometimes we're like, it doesn't sound right coming from me. So I'm going to change it for what works for our upbringing. But all in all, great script practice book.
100%. That is a good one. And he has a British accent, so he makes everything sound better.
Everything sounds very smart.
Yes. And I think they have one for realtors, and they also just have like a regular.
Yeah, they're very similar. It's like magic words. So it's similar magic words, but the Exactly What to Say for Realtors, which is a black cover with white writing all down it, is they have examples specific to real estate. So I would pick up that one if you're a realtor. And then if you're not a realtor, but you're in business, pick up, or sales, pick up Exactly What to Say, not for realtors, regular one.
Okay, so I guess we're going over the 5. And another one I have not read in a long time, but it's What Got You Here Won't Get You There. And that one is by somebody Goldsmith. Marshall Goldsmith. What got you here won't get you there. And it's kind of like the title says it all, really. I mean, it's about, so for example, back in the day when I was in real estate in the early years, what I did before, even what we did last year, the year before, isn't going to get us the success that we had. So you have to change. You have to change the way, exactly. The markets change, technology changes. It used to be that I was doing newspaper ads. That is so gone. People just really don't look at the paper anymore, and they certainly aren't going to pick a realtor, most likely, from the paper. Sorry, right. Enterprise Record and other news outlets. But yes, so we're doing things a lot differently now, obviously, with technology. But just even in your daily, I mean, if you became successful and then all of a sudden you are not changing with the times, that is why we are in coaching.
Right.
Because Tom Ferry and his team of people come up with new things to do, like Phil Jones, what to say, just and how the markets are changing. There's just staying on top of all of that stuff. Yeah. And what used to be important is maybe not important anymore. So,
right.
I mean, it's not a very good explanation of the book, but
you get the idea.
Yeah, Google it.
Either way, put these 6, ended up being 6, on your list of books to read, and please let us know if you do read them. Like, what's your opinion of them?
Oh, and or put what your favorite books are. We're always looking for new books.
Yeah, we are.
I also like anything by Jim Rohn or John Maxwell. Kind of old school, but man, that John Maxwell.
I have one of his books. I need to read it.
I have several, so I should bring all my books in.
Bring your books in. We'll do like a book drive.
Let's do it.
All right. Thanks, everybody, and see you on the next one.
Bye.